Hey, Bulls and Bears, it is December 12th. It's Sunday, 2021. Thank you for joining me. And I just want to start this video off with a quick thank you to everyone that supported this channel. When I started this channel, it was just one video about real estate. And so basically, I stumbled into this channel on accident. And then what made me fall in love with putting out content was you, the viewer, your comments, your feedback, all the encouraging emails and messages that you send me. And as we continue to dig in to the news, the data, the information that's coming out about this economy in our world, our monetary system, our financial structure, I think a lot of us here together are just trying to figure this out and try to navigate these waters the best we can. So I appreciate you being here and just wanted to give a thanks, to everyone. It's the holiday season, and a lot of people are having a tough time. And today we're going to talk about the financial aspect of how it's affecting a lot of people. And imagine, let's go back to the tornadoes. We just talked about this in our previous report. Imagine being around the holiday season. Now your house is gone. Maybe even your place of work is gone. So you're out of a job. You're out of a place to live all at the same time. Maybe you lost someone in the tornado. Maybe you're injured. I mean, so many things are happening right now to these people. And, add this on top of the pile of just a lot of the challenges that people are facing. And, that homelessness is increasing. Financially, people are getting more into further and deeper debt. People are now having to come out of retirement. We're going to talk about that and a lot more here. Let's go ahead and get into the first article right now. And this one's out of Study Finds. Energy crisis. 3 in 5 Americans are more exhausted now than ever before in their lives. So please let me know what you think about this. I've noticed a drop off in energy. I've been really trying to focus on eating better, getting more sleep. I still have to have that afternoon coffee sometimes to get me, through the rest of the day. If you're lucky enough to just be retired and stay retired and to be on your own schedule, maybe take a nap whenever you want to, consider yourself blessed, lucky. Maybe you're smart. Maybe you were smart to get to where you're at that allows you to be on your own schedule. But if you're someone that's working, and a lot of people are either one, working really hard and trying to get as much overtime as they can, maybe even working 2 jobs to try to keep up with the rising cost of living. Other people have checked out of the labor force completely. And that's one of the big things we're trying to uncover here is how are these people getting by? We know a lot of people are moving back home with their parents, especially younger millennials. All right, but that's been one of the biggest head scratchers here is how are these people that are choosing not to work, all these 100+ million people that are checked out of the labor force, how are they getting by with this kind of cost of living? All right, but more into this article. 3 in 5 Americans more exhausted now than ever before. We know that most people, more than 50% of people, are on some sort of medication. And we know that Americans as a whole are getting more unhealthy and eating worse. Organic food, the price of organic food is even higher now than it was, just like all types of food. But organic especially is even pricier. I think a lot of this is stress related because of all the things we've seen happening here, especially in the last couple years. But even before this, just all the debt levels and the rising cost of living are something that just constantly, I think, weighs on people. And people that have kids and people have loved ones and family that they're worried about are not just stressed out about themselves, but about their family. What's going to happen in their kids' future? How are their kids going to navigate this type of system where prices continue to rise uncontrollably, is what it seems like. From this article, 58% of people here confess to feeling disjointed and unfocused. And catching few moments of sleep doesn't appear to be a very viable solution. So again, if you can get 8 hours of sleep, consider yourself very lucky, blessed. Combination of both. I, on average, get between about 5 to 6 hours mostly. If I can get 7 to 8 hours, I feel really, really lucky. But a lot of these people are reporting what's called chronic fatigue, where you get a full night's sleep and you just wake up exhausted. And I think a lot of it's mental, and stress can really make people feel like this. But also our lifestyles. I mean, more people now are doing the home office thing. and people less inclined to go out and do a physical job. Doing physical hard work or even a hard workout or going on some hike, it makes me feel a lot better. And people think it's the opposite. People think the more tired you are physically, then the more tired you're going to be mentally. To me, it's the opposite. I feel really good mentally. I may be physically tired after a workout or a long hike or even doing a hard day of work, even yard work. If you work in the yard 3 to 4 hours and stuff like that, chopping wood, stuff like that, that can really, it's a good workout. You don't have to actually go to a gym and pay a gym membership if you have things you can do physically. But those things make me feel a lot better mentally. It relieves mental stress. But I think people have lost touch with just the basics on getting a good workout, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, eating a healthy diet, trying to keep your diet clean and keep things that are going into your body, clean. But add on top of all that, all the financial stress now that we're seeing with so many people, I think that's a part of the big reason for all these people reporting being exhausted and chronic fatigue rising. Right? We also see more mental health issues, more addiction. We talked about the homeless situation just a few reports ago. With this video right here, how we're seeing just so many people acting just strange and just checked out, and more people strung out basically on the streets. And the way it's looking, a lot of people that are in the working class right now might end up joining them. And, it's pretty sad to see. Next, this was originally put out by NBC News. Money is running out. Financial stress drives retirees back to work. Now, we've spoken about this before, but think about this. You work your life, let's say you work a 30, 40-year career, sometimes even more, and you're trying to put away money, you're saving for retirement, and now all of a sudden what you had saved is nowhere near what it's going to cost to live out your next who knows how long, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And so now you're going back to work. One, are you going to have enough skills, or are you going to have enough physical endurance to do the type of job that you're going to need to do in order to really make some money? And two, you're going to go back to work and prices are going to continue to rise. So now you have this unknown in the background on, will I ever be able to retire? Imagine going back to work at 60, 65, 70, whatever, and yet you still don't know. You can't just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to work for a couple years, save up enough, and I'll be good, because you see prices still rising and CPI, inflation going up, everything else. You don't know. You don't know if you're going to have to work until your last day. Maybe you'll pass away at the job. I mean, this is pretty scary for a lot of people, and I think that's another reason why so many people are feeling just exhausted. It's a lot of stress and a lot of things to think about. And here's a story here about a 69-year-old was a truck driver for 30 years. You would think being a truck driver, pretty well-paying job that you can kick back at 69 and maybe play with the grandkids or go travel, and do what you want to do. But here they are, a lot of these people going back to work. And even people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s are looking at this and they're saying, will I ever be able to retire? Right? Pretty scary, pretty stressful time, for a lot of people. And a lot of people that I see right now that are the happiest are people that chose not to take on a lot of responsibility. People that don't have ultra high debt, a mortgage hanging over their head, people that chose not to even start a family because they, saw, either one, saw the writing on the wall, or two, just have that free spirit where they didn't want to get tied down by anything or anyone. Those people seem to be, the happiest right now as far as all the people that I talk to and interact with. So let's talk about these rising prices, this inflation. And this was originally put out by Bloomberg. For Americans shocked by inflation, Argentines have some advice. And this is another country that saw just devastating inflation. Put Argentina in the same category as Zimbabwe, as Venezuela. We're seeing similar pricing, cost of living situation over in Lebanon. And it's spreading, and now we're starting to see it here in the United States. Right, but this is pretty crazy. Look at some of the points, the bullet points here from this article. Argentines have some advice for Americans that are shocked by inflation. One, spend your paycheck right away. So as soon as you get paid, go out and spend it. Why? Because by the time your next paycheck rolls around in a week or two, things are going to be even more expensive. And that's pretty scary. And this adds on top of the demand. So when people are worried about prices being higher next week or next month, they're going to go spend their money even more quickly. And that adds to the inflation because you have that much more demand now because of the fear, right? And it's similar to the price of something going up. Let's say you wanted to invest in a stock and you see the price going up. And we've talked about Fomo here. And you look at the prices going up and you're saying, I'm never going to be able to buy this if I don't buy it now. You see it in the housing market. I'm never going to be able to afford this if I don't buy it now. FOMO, pushing more people into it. That adds to the demand. The price runs up even faster. And with the way they're debasing the currency, people do not know, one, should they buy now before prices go up? Or two, should they hold on to their cash, save their cash, and wait for a correction? And I've seen it down in comments on this channel many, many times. People are saying, and they've been saying for several years, I'm holding on to my money. I'm going to wait for the bubble to burst, wait for the correction, wait for prices to come down. And here we are several years down the road, and people are still saying that, and they're looking at their money sitting in their checking account or wherever, and they're thinking, wow, what could I have bought a few years ago that I can't buy now with this amount of money? And if you're trying to save money, same thing. The rising cost of living, it's even harder to save money. So yes, more people are going to rush out and buy now. And as it says here, spend your paycheck right away. So it's pretty scary. I'm kind of in the same boat. I've got a couple older vehicles. Blessed enough to have them both paid off. And we've been thinking about buying a newer vehicle. On one hand, we're thinking about buying right now because will prices be lower next year or not? Will they be twice as high? I don't know if anybody knows. So we're in the same boat. We're thinking about, do we buy? Do we hold off? Very challenging time for a lot of people. But the next bullet point from this article on advice as far as handling inflation, borrow lots of money. So borrow the most money that you can, because this is what they're saying. This is not what I'm saying. Borrow as much money as possible, because whatever interest rate you're paying, it doesn't matter, because inflation is going to be even higher. Now, I tend to disagree as far as credit card debt. Credit card debt, 17, 18, 19, 20%. If you don't pay that sucker off in full every month, you're going to be in big pain financially. So borrow as much money as possible. If you're looking at a car loan, maybe 5% or less. Mortgage rate, for the most part, 5% or less. And inflation's more than that. When you look at real inflation, it's closer to 15% and even higher in some particular assets, or even more than 15%. So borrow lots of money. If your interest rate's lower than inflation, then you're ending up winning in the end. All right, other things out of this article: negotiate pay raise or two. Check this article out, if you want to get more into it. But I just thought I would chime in today with this quick video. Again, thoughts and prayers to everyone out there, especially over in the Hurricane Alley area. And some of these states weren't actually traditionally known for having many hurricanes, especially in December. Some of these areas, it was the first time we saw December hurricanes in many, many decades. So the world continues to get more strange and more scary. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy holidays. Hope you're safe financially and physically. And hope you're doing well emotionally during these times. A lot of stress out there. If you're feeling the stress, you're not alone. It's a lot of people. People have more chronic fatigue now. Please let me know what you think down in comments. Are you feeling more fatigue? Are you having more trouble resting and getting a good night's rest because of maybe stress? Or two, just all of the other things happening where you have to work more and less time to relax? Please let me know. People coming out of retirement, the Argentinians, inflation advice for us here in America that are trying to figure out what to do about this inflation. Are you buying now because everything's going to be more expensive, or do you see a crash so you're holding on to your cash? Or are you kind of riding the fence like myself, have some cash but still invest? I'm investing, but I'm still trying to figure out, should I go ahead and buy some big purchases like another vehicle? So hope to hear from you down in comments on this one, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Stay well, stay safe, keep stacking. Bye for now. Peace.